Hi, hi everyone. My name is Tarun, and welcome to Startup by Podcast. So, I was obsessed with learning, and that's actually where the name Startup by comes from. I always had this deep curiosity about startups, about how people build things from scratch, about how wealth is created, about how people take small ideas and make them into big companies. So back in 2020 during Corona, I got the time and space to go even deeper into this obsession. I was stuck in the US during lockdown, and like many people, had endless free time. And in that time, I stumbled across a podcast that completely changed my perspective. Naval Ravikant's How to Get Rich. I actually found it after listening to Joe Rogan, and I can honestly say this: it was one of the best podcasts I have ever listened to in my life. From that day, I decided I wanted to dig deep into Naval's philosophy and ideas. And that's what planted the seed for me to start this very podcast. So, I just want to document and talk about my learnings. So, today in this first episode, I want to share with you four key ideas I picked up from Naval's How to Get Rich. The first one is about wealth versus status. You see, I always wanted to make money. I thought money was cool, but Naval made me realize something important. There is a big difference between chasing wealth and chasing status. Status is about showing off, about being seen as powerful or rich in the eyes of others. But here's the thing: chasing status is a stupid game. There's this great quote from the book The Psychology of Money. Showing others how much money you have is the easiest way to lose money. And that hit me hard because I realized, yeah, it's true. The moment you start spending just to look rich, you are on your way to becoming broke. So since then, I've always held on this principle. I wanted to be rich and anonymous, not poor and famous. That's actually a Naval's quote too, and I still keep it in my mind like it's written on my forehead. Because think about it. Fame looks cool at first. Getting on the stage, having the spotlight on you, it feels exciting. But once you get on the stage, it becomes very hard to step off. When you're famous, you are always in the front of people, and that means you are always open to criticism, judgment, and expectations. There is no real peace in it. So for me, uh, I find a I find a lot more peace in living quietly, living below your means, and not needing to constantly upgrade my life for others people to see me. That's a kind of freedom I value. Naval also defined wealth in a way that really stuck with me. He said wealth is making money while you sleep. So what does that mean? It means building assets that keep earning for you without your effort. For example, if you write a code once and turn into a SaaS product, that code continues to generate money for you day and night. That's wealth. Or take rental property. It might be low leverage compared to software, but it still pays you while you sleep. For me personally, material comfort is important. I want the basics, I want comfort, but beyond that, I've realized more and more that chasing luxury doesn't add real value. Beyond a certain point, extra stuff feels meaningless. So Nawal also spoke about four key concepts that are necessary if you want to keep building wealth. Uh, Accountability, first one. Second, specific knowledge. Third, leverage. Fourth, judgment. So let's start with the first one, accountability. I love the book Skin in the Game by Nassim Taleb because it explains this perfectly. Accountability means you carry both the upside and downside. Think about CEOs. Why do CEOs get paid so much more than employees? It's because they are sailing a big ship. A big ship carries thousands of people. It carries tons of cargo. It's responsible for a huge journey. When a big ship sinks, it's a massive disaster. The responsibility is huge. That's what a CEO carries. On the other hand, employees are sailing small boats. A small boat can flip, it can sink, but the loss is very small. There's not much at stake. If an employee's job sinks, they can just find another one. They don't lose everything. So, so the bigger the ship, the bigger the responsibility, the bigger the accountability. That's why CEOs get paid so much. They are not just steering a company, they are responsible for thousands of employees, investors, and customers. If the company succeeds, the CEO enjoys the rewards. But if the company fails, the CEO goes down with it. That's real accountability. For employees, it doesn't work the same way. If the company fails, most employees can just walk away and find another job. That's why they don't carry the same risk, and that's why they don't get the massive reward. So here's the lesson: if you want to get paid more, you need to take on accountability. That's a trade off. If you are in a position where both success and failure rest on your shoulders, you will naturally get compensated more. Now, the second concept is specific knowledge. Specific knowledge is knowledge that is unique to you, uh, and you usually gain it by following your genuine curiosity. You don't get it by following a standard path, you get it by being obsessed with something and going deep. It can be anything. For some people, it's a machine learning or coding. For others, it could be even a comedy. Imagine someone who's naturally funny, loves making people laugh. They can start a YouTube channel and turn that into a career. For someone else, it could be fitness, coaching, or nutrition, like whatever. The point is, when you have specific knowledge, you are not easily replaceable. It's not generic, it's yours, it's rare, and people have to come to you for it. That gives you the power to demand your own price. You're not just another person in the market. Specific knowledge is what makes you stand out. It's what allows you to charge what you want instead of accepting whatever is offered. That's why Naval emphasized it so much. Third topic: leverage. Leverage is an interesting topic. The main idea is that your input and output should be non-linear. This means the amount of work you put in should not directly equal the output you get. For example, if you work a 9 to 5 job and give 8 hours of input, your output is proportional to your work. If you do that for 20 years, you won't get rich because you are only earning based on your time. You cannot get rich by just exchanging your time for money. To get rich, you need a job or activity where you put in a little effort and get massive results. This happens only through leverage. Examples include starting a YouTube channel, building a business, renting a property, or investing capital. There are two types of leverage: permissionless and permissioned. Permissionless leverage doesn't need anyone's approval. For example, writing code, starting a YouTube channel, or recording this podcast. You can do it yourself and scale it without asking anyone. I would argue that everyone should learn to use permissionless leverage. Permissioned leverage requires others' involvement, like hiring people to run a business or raising capital. You need their permission to scale. So the key point is this: to make real money, you need leverage. You cannot get rich with a 9 to 5 job alone. Leverage multiplies your effort and creates massive result. And now comes the final topic. Fourth one: judgment. Judgment is the skill of making quick and decisive decisions. If you develop good judgment, you can make better choices, act faster, and avoid mistakes. Over time, good judgment compounds like interest. Small, smart decisions add up to big results. With good judgment, life becomes easier. You gain freedom and power, and over the long term, you can generate wealth more effectively. Wealth building is a slow compounding game. Every decision you make contributes to your growth, and with the right judgment, you become more capable, more free, and more powerful. And that's it for today's episode. I hope these ideas: accountability, specific knowledge, leverage, and judgment give you something to think about and apply in your own journey. Remember, building wealth and creating freedom isn't about working harder in the traditional sense. It's about taking accountability, learning deeply, leveraging your time and effort, and making smart decisions consistently. So I'm just starting my journey too, and I'm sharing this podcast as a way to explore, learn, and grow along with you. So keep experimenting, stay curious, and don't be afraid to take risks and think differently. Thanks for listening to the first episode of the Startup Boy podcast. I'm Tarun, and I'll see you in the next episode.